It all starts back with my grandfather, who had changed his name a couple of times, mostly to do with joining the army. And when he moved down to Dunedin and settled down here in Dunedin, he came with the name James Taitua, as opposed to the name that he had at birth, which was Manuhau Kingi Paringātai. So our journey starts way back with my grandfather, and because his name had changed, we had lost some of our connection with our whakapapa, with our ancestry, and therefore for quite a bit we hadn't realised that we were connected to the CDH1 gene. Fast forward a number of years to 2003, where my mother had passed away from stomach cancer. It was our first hint into that something did exist, that something was there. We still hadn't quite connected to our Paringātai side, so didn't realise the extent of the prevalence of CDH1 throughout our whānau. Our mother had hinted to it when she was alive, but we didn't quite understand what that meant. It wasn't until my sister was diagnosed with early stages stomach cancer, stage 2 stomach cancer, that we started to realise that with the same symptoms as what my mother had, that we started to realise that there's a connection between what my sister was going through with what my mother had been through. Making those connections really has had a huge impact on us, I guess my grandfather's direct descendants that live here in Dunedin. A number of us had tested positive for CDH1, but also because of it gave us a chance to deal with the impacts of CDH1, to deal with the potential for stomach cancer really early on. So if not for my grandfather, if not for my mother's death, if not for my sister's her own journey, we would have not discovered that we needed to do something. Probably a typical Paringātai in the sense that we can be quite stubborn and staunch. I was probably I was a lot younger than what I am now, or 10 years younger than what I am now. So I'm not too sure if I was ready to accept the risks or the consequences, but I knew that we needed to do something about it. I was probably a little bit stubborn on wanting to accept the risk straight away. I think a number of different emotions just flood through your head. There is the potential that you have to have your stomach removed. At the time, I had not long actually been a firefighter, and I just joined as a firefighter in 2009, and I really didn't know what not having a stomach would mean in that sense. So I guess part of my stubbornness and not wanting to accept the risks was probably more a symptom of being scared, not knowing what the impact would be. Whether I could continue to do the job I love, whether I, and what other impacts it would have on me. So after that, it became pretty clear that what it was that we needed to do, which was start with the process of going through regular monitoring through gastroscopy. So yeah, so that's I guess how we started to mitigate the or how we started to, I guess, consider the risks of CDH1. The number of people that I had a chance to have a conversation with really helped me in my final decision of undertaking surgery. The likes of Karen, the likes of Perry really did help put my mind at ease, as well as the support of my family.
Back then, I think we just took it in our stride and just went about trying to get as much information as we could. That's why I'm quite keen to get on board with anything, because obviously he's got the gene. Then we knew that he could pass it on to future children and that kind of thing. So yeah, there was a lot to think about. But then as you got to know people who had the operation and seeing that they actually lived quite a normal life, it kind of gave you reassurance that it was going to be okay. It's not always easy, but it's definitely not the disaster that you end up reading about when you search this condition on Google. That was probably the most scary thing, is that I think I was always keen for him to have the operation so that we didn't have to worry or have it hanging over our heads, worry that every stomach pain or upset tummy was something more than just a bug or an illness.
Te tuatahi ake, for me, the most important thing is that, or what I want to say is that my whakapapa saved my life. It was through the sacrifices of others that we get a chance to live, and it's not just myself. It's my kids, my children's children, and for me, those that have passed, we shouldn't let that go to or happen in vain. The best way to honour my mother's passing is to actually deal with it, so that people like myself, people like my children, have a chance that was better than the chance that she had at the time.